Thought we could like get all of our shoot our comedy gold wide before we started actually doing the podcast.
Comedy gold wad is a good like name for maybe
anything.
Like a film.
Literally anything. Your firstborn, anything.
Hello and welcome to WayTooBroad, a show and tell program for really, really ridiculously excited grown-ups. I am Hannah. It's 10 o'clock on a Friday. It's a Silly Friday edition of WayTooBroad, and my co-hosts this Silly Friday are Erin and Ben. Hi, Erin.
It sounded like you needed to like reference your notes before you said your own name. I am checks notes Hannah. Hi, Ben.
Hello, I had to race to the finish on chewing down that bagel before I talked.
Ooh.
Nice. Are you Hundo Bagel down?
Yep. Hundo Bagel down.
Awesome.
That sounds like a military, like Black Hawk Down. Hundo Bagel down.
Hundo Bagel down. Yeah, it sounds like a movie. Like a movie about hunting a,
bagel.
terrorist.
Hunting a Red October.
Yeah.
I had the wrong outline up.
Like,
You
Jessica Chastain is probably going to be in Hundo Bagel down.
Yeah. She might be the titular Hundo Bagel.
Are you calling Jessica Chastain titular?
Okay, we got like half a cast for a great movie already. We've got Comedy Gold Wad, and then a Hundo Bagel.
Down.
Hundo Bagel down.
Yeah, you know what? We're starting a new company. Just movie title names. You just come to us, we'll give you your title, pay us $1 million. You're on your way to box office gold.
$1 million. That's like pennies for a movie
Pennies.
budget. That's like nothing.
Literally pennies.
Such titles
For a
as
great
Hundo
name?
Bagel down.
Comedy Gold
Comedy
Wad.
Gold Wad.
Yeah, those are just a few of our fast catalog of movie title names.
The Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, we came up with that. The Fast Internet and the Furious at those who don't have fast internet.
Fate of the Furious for the 8th one. We did that.
We
Very
did that.
clever. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Something dumb like
Tokyo
that.
Dippers. We did that one too. Oh, the Star Wars Episode 1, Episode 2, we named those. Episode 3, Episode 4, Episode 5. We named those. We knew about those. We knew
The new one?
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Rise of the Sky.
Rise of the
We
Sky.
did that.
Yeah.
Skyway Up High.
Skyway of Stars? We said that. We did that. That was our name. They came to us.
Oh, man. So call us for your names for movies.
We're going to give you all their movie names.
If you don't hire the team, you don't have the team.
Wow.
That's right.
We warned everyone about what time it was and what day it was. I don't know what else we can do.
I don't know.
Okay, I have a game I want to play as maybe an upfront thing, but I wanted to see if people had actual upfront things first.
Oh.
Oh, what's everyone drinking?
Oh. Who's first?
Ben, what are you drinking?
I got ginger ale and icing water.
Ginger ale. Oh, man, I have ginger ale downstairs.
Oh my gosh.
I have a question.
That's not where you
I have
are.
a question.
What's up?
What?
Do you notice a difference between Schweppes and Canada Dry?
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't think that I did, but then this time I got Schweppes because I couldn't see Canada Dry at the store. That's a weird way to say that. I couldn't find Canada Dry at the store.
It was there. He couldn't see it. He's now Canada Dry blind.
Yeah.
Why? Do you have a black eye? AKA eye patch?
No, I just couldn't find it. I could only find the ones that like mixed with lemonade.
which we already know is bad.
It's not terrible. It's just not as good as regular. But anyway, I have noticed since getting Schweppes that I like Canada Dry like a lot more.
Yeah.
Schweppes taste more syrupy.
You know what brand I have downstairs is Bartlett's? Is that right?
I don't know. Like Josiah Bartlett, like from the West Wing?
Bartlett's ginger beer is what I have downstairs.
I think that's really gingery.
One. It is.
I love ginger beer.
Will you guys let me go get one?
Go get one.
But then I have to go downstairs. Maybe Molly will get me one.
Well, let me tell you what I'm drinking, and then you can decide based on that.
I'm texting her. Do you want to go get me a ginger beer? Grimace face. Grimacing emoji.
Are you texting her on your computer?
Yeah.
Wow, that's so Apple.
Yeah, that is so Apple. That's an Apple trademark, hallmark.
Patent.
It's a hallmark
It's
of
an Apple
Apple.
patent.
Is it really?
Yeah,
patented?
which is why no one, when Google released that chat service a few years ago called Allo, I think is what it's called, ALLO, and they couldn't it was either couldn't send messages over SMS because like somehow Apple had patented like messaging services that can send over both Wi-Fi and SMS or some shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Well, it was very smart of them to do
Yeah,
that.
I guess. Apple
But
kind of sucks.
I don't
though.
like it.
Very rude.
Ollie says, I'm cozy in the bed. It's so far away.
Oh, no.
I mean,
legit answer.
she's under no obligation to like get out of bed and get me a drink. Like, that's ridiculous. So, okay,
Well-
what are you drinking?
Okay, I'm drinking 2 drinks. One is my homemade seltzer.
Oh, that's crisp.
That's
Have you
crisp.
watched a bottle update? Bottle watch 2019. Have you washed the bottle?
I did wash the bottle at work, mostly in like hot water, because it started to smell.
Oh,
So,
from your stinky
You
mouth.
smell, so that makes sense.
because of my stinky mouth. You know what's funny? I was using it. I was bringing it to work and then using it for still water, and it was about towards the end of the day of using it for mostly still water that it started to smell. So just more data for it.
It still smells. It doesn't sparkle smells.
It doesn't sparkle smell.
It still
It
smells.
Still smells, but it doesn't smell anymore. But it only still smells.
Right.
Yeah. And the other thing
That's
I have
good
is,
science.
yeah, thank you. The other thing I have is a new cider from Bantam.
Whoa.
The people who brought you Rojo, which is red.
Rojo, which is red.
It's called Happy Goza?
Goza.
Yeah, Goza.
Happy Goza Lucky.
Oh.
A Goza style cider with passion
I
fruit.
don't like the
Dope.
name.
And it's got goats on it.
Wait, why don't you like the name? I think it's clever, Ben.
I think it's a clumsy pun. Personally.
Nothing on here says happy. I just made that up.
No, it
Limited
does. It's right
release.
on the front.
Happy. Oh, yeah, you're right. But listen, I was going to read you this. Fresh, pressed New England apples, finished with passion fruit and a touch of Himalayan salt. Off dry and perfectly balanced, a cider fit for the goat. I think they think that Goza is pronounced gose. In which case, maybe it's a little more like goat.
And like go, which would make
Oh.
the pun better.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty
yeah.
certain it's
It's
2
Goza.
syllables.
I just don't trust anyone on that particular topic.
Anyone. There wouldn't be a single person that you would trust as the authority on that.
No.
Wow. What a world.
I can't taste the salt in it now. I guess gozas are usually salty, but
It's interesting. I haven't had a Goza cider.
yeah, it's good.
You like?
I like it, yeah. I like a good sour beer. I like a good cider. I like a good dry cider. It's got all the stuff I like.
I like it. I like a good on the sour beers on a like hot sunny day. For something about it, it just feels. Am I last this week? Am I really last? It just feels refreshing.
Yeah. Really?
That was just one big disjointed thought for you.
Just a lot of twists and turns in that.
Sprinkled with a few other thoughts that I just decided to just get out of the way right then and there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, what are you drinking, Erin?
oh, I have this big quart of ice water.
Nice.
It's a lot of water.
That's a lot of nuts.
It's nice. Speaking of drinks, can I have a quick rant
Yeah.
real quick about drinks? I went to a coffee shop tonight. I will not mention which coffee shop it was because, I don't know, it's my community.
Mm-hmm.
But I could not purchase at this coffee shop a cup of coffee. My only options were espresso drinks. I couldn't get a pour over. I couldn't get a drip. I couldn't get a French press. The only option if I wanted a cup of coffee was a 32-ounce French press for 4 people. I could not.
What?
Could I get a single cup of coffee? Is that crazy to you?
Yes.
Because they only have espresso. They have drip coffee until 3 p.m. I hate it. I was pretty disgruntled about it. I was unnecessarily disgruntled about it. Like, I recognized that. But it was like, I just wanted a fucking cup of coffee.
You could have
at
gotten
a coffee shop.
an Americano.
I got an Americano. Did I want watered down espresso?
No, yeah, Americanos are gross.
Yeah, they're gross. I got an Americano because that was the closest thing to it, and I felt disgruntled about it. So,
I think you were right to feel disgruntled.
Thank you.
I think you should put them on blast. I think we should shut this place down.
I think this is a known issue with this particular quote unquote coffee shop.
This espresso bar.
This espresso. Yeah, you're right. It's probably more of an espresso bar. But I feel like that's unnecessary and flexible. Unnecessarily inflexible. Inflexible. God.
Yeah.
Inflexible. Unnecessarily inflexible. Like, why can't you have a fucking... They're like, we don't have a pour over at this location. And I'm like, why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Why don't you have a smaller...
Do you want me to go buy you one?
Yeah.
Like, you can pay me back.
I make pour over coffee for myself at 12 ounce.
Yeah.
12 to 16 ounces every day. It takes me no time. It's like no extra effort. I just truly don't understand. I think what I struggle with is
you should invest in this.
I just don't understand why not. I don't understand why it's so difficult to have a smaller French press pot or have a pour over. It just doesn't seem that complicated. I just feel really upset about it. I'm sorry.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Anyway, thank you. You guys are on my team. I appreciate that about you.
You don't drink iced coffee, right?
No, I don't like iced coffee, unfortunately.
Did they have that? If you had wanted it?
I don't think so.
Because that, too, is just make it in the morning and put it in the fridge.
Yeah, just, make it.
Just make it.
I just really was trying to communicate to this person who's taking my order, can I just please have a cup of coffee? Could I please have a cup of coffee? I could go almost anywhere in this town, and they would give me a cup of coffee, except for this coffee shop. This coffee shop is denying me a cup of coffee.
That's true. You can go to, there are so many more, places in any given city that can make you coffee than can make you espresso.
Right.
But this coffee shop can't do that for you.
Right. There's this pizza place downtown. It's like a Italian,
and they don't even
whatever.
serve pizza. Only
they don't even
cupcakes.
have
That's basically what this place is doing.
Exactly. But they don't serve coffee. They just serve espresso. And I'm like, that makes sense because their main thing is pizza. Mm-hmm. And they just happen to have an espresso machine because it's very Italian, okay?
Yeah.
Sure. You would have trouble finding a nice cup of coffee in Italy, okay? But that's because they have espresso. And so that's the thing. And I'm like, yeah, that's the thing. This is not an Italian espresso bar. They're not making an Italian point. They're just being unnecessarily difficult. I don't know why. Okay, we got to stop talking about this.
Making an Italian point.
No va bene. It's not good. I don't like it.
Wow.
Okay.
Breaking out the Italian.
What is your upfront thing? We have to move on. I could keep going. I could do my whole obsession. My new obsession is how this coffee shop does not have coffee. And I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, so Erin, you made a comment in our Slack group about how we're basically, the three of us are basically an improv group because of what we do for this podcast, I assume.
Yeah.
Was your point? And
I think she meant
it
the
got me
improv shows
thinking-
we do.
Oh, and that, right.
Yeah.
Right. Our live streamed improv shows.
Yeah.
The Three Amigos. And so...
Yep. That's her name. That's her. We haven't had a choice of any name, and that's the one we chose.
And that's set in stone now.
That's right. That is. Thank you very much. That's the one. Our movie titles are much better than our improv. I just want you to know that. If any potential customers.
We did name that movie after our improv group.
Oh yeah.
The Three Amigos.
Right.
So, anyway, I was remembering today an improv game that they used to play on Comedy Bang Bang that they've stopped playing in recent years. And Harris Whittles was particularly hated this game. He would always complain when they played it, but I always just loved it and thought it was so much fun, and used to try to convince my friends to play it with me all the time.
Ooh.
And it's called What Am I Thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I do. I know this game.
Do you know this game, Erin?
No, it sounds fun though. Let's do it. What is it?
Okay, so it's like we'll have to start with two people.
I was going to say, are we going to do it with three?
I don't think you can do it with three. Well, and then like the other two will do it. But basically, we'll count down.
The other two. Do I need to go find somebody else to do it with me?
Go get Molly out of bed. I know she's cozy, but and
I'd be like, we need to come play this game. We need one ginger ale and you.
So, the way you play this game is that the two people who are playing count down together, 3, 2, 1, and then when they get to where they could say 0, they just say a word, and it can be like any word. Ben,
That's an
correct me if I
interesting
get
way
this
of
wrong.
thinking about that. Instead of 0, then instead of 0, they say a word.
Instead of the absence of anything, they put in a word there. So, and then you keep doing that and trying to like predict what the next word is the person's going to say. Basically, you're trying to silently think of like, what did the two words that you just said have in common?
Yeah.
And then keep on trying to inch closer and closer to saying the same word. And the way you win is that you say the same word, you know, where you could be saying 0.
They did this on Threedom, and Paul F. Tompkins is weirdly bad at it for someone who is so good at improv.
It's really bad.
And they tried to do it with all three of them at the same time, and it was like impossible.
Good. Well, I'm glad we're not going to. I can't, because I think they usually didn't do it with more than two people. Yeah. Okay. So who would like to do it first?
Well, I want you two to do it so I can like learn, because y'all kind of know. So I want to listen.
And it's got to be like fast paced. Also, that's the thing.
Okay.
You're not supposed to spend too much time between them thinking of a word.
Yeah.
So you're saying a word and you're listening to what the other person says, and then you say a word you think is similar, and you're basically like honing in.
Yes, exactly.
On the same. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you want to do this, Hannah?
Yeah, I'm ready. You ready?
Yep.
Okay.
3. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Banana.
Fire. Okay.
Banana and fire.
Banana and fire.
Okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Forest
Baked
fire.
Alaska. Forest fire.
I'll do the 3, 2, 1 because it's a little weird for you both to count.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Forest fire and baked Alaska.
Forest fire and baked Alaska.
You've gotten farther apart.
Yay. Okay. I have a word. I have a word.
Ready, Hannah?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Pine tree.
California. Okay.
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 Okay. I have one.
Okay. I do too.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Redwood.
Portland. Okay.
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 Okay, Redwood
All right.
and Portland.
All right. I know what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Go ahead, Erin.
3, 2, 1.
Pacific
Tree.
Northwest. Fuck,
Can you
this is
repeat?
hard.
We didn't set this rule. Can you repeat words?
I think so.
All right, let's go.
I feel like you shouldn't be able to. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Pine
Redwood.
tree.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I got this. We got this.
Okay, we
Hannah.
got this. We got this. Okay.
All right.
Go ahead, Erin.
3, 2, 1.
Evergreen.
Tree. Oh my god.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
Well, where do we go now?
Get creative. Come on.
Okay. All right.
3, 2, 1.
Needles.
What'd you say?
Shit,
You
needles.
said needles? Oh, fuck.
Yeah, we were talking about
What'd you
evergreens.
say?
Why'd you say leaves?
I said leaves. Those are like needles.
Oh,
That,
close.
yeah.
All right. I feel like you guys can find
All
common
right,
ground
all right,
here.
all right,
Let's
all right.
do it. I believe in you.
All right.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Green.
Branches.
Jesus Christ, Ben!
How is that my fault? They're both green.
I thought of branches because needles and leaves are both on branches.
Yes.
You fuck.
They're also both green.
Okay, but we're like tree anatomy now, and you like went on to like be a descriptor. It's fine. I'm not blaming you. We're all in this together. It's a team. Okay,
Okay.
this is good.
Oh, God.
Okay, ready?
You know what I
Okay.
just remembered is when on Freedom when they played this, whenever it was like Scott Aukerman and Paul F. Tompkins doing it, and Paul F. Tompkins could like never get to the right place.
Yeah.
Whenever Scott would say the thing Lauren was thinking of, she would go, "Oh yeah, that's right." There was a correct answer.
That's what I just did. I'm so sorry.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
So what are we at? Or what is it? Green and
You
branches?
said green and I said branches.
Okay.
All
And
right.
I think we both know who was going in the right direction.
Okay, let's just go again. We
Okay.
got this.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Tree.
Trunk. Fuck. That's, come on.
What are you?
Trunk.
Tree. Trunk. Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Bark.
Tree.
Bark and tree.
Hannah's just gonna keep saying tree until you're
3,
ready.
2, 1,
to
tree.
say
We did it.
You did it.
All right, I want to play. Who wants to play me?
What do you think, Ben?
You do it, Hannah.
All right, Ben, give us a countdown.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Cat.
Coffee.
Coffee and
Okay.
cat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Cappuccino.
Mug.
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
Wait, huh? You guys just both went coffee direction? Didn't one of you say cat?
Yeah, I said cat.
I was thinking like cats on
Oh,
mugs.
okay, yeah, okay.
Cappuccino sounds like cat. Puccino.
Yeah.
That's why I said
I
it.
thought you just both ignored cat. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Latte.
I
You
lost.
didn't say anything.
I know. I didn't have it.
Did you?
No, I was gonna
Wanna
say
say zero
I was gonna say
and then stop?
Americano. is
Why
what I was
didn't
gonna
you?
Okay.
say. Because I forgot.
All right,
'Cause
latte
I
and
got-
Americano.
Latte
Okay.
and Americano. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Coffee.
Caffeine.
Okay.
Oh,
you're not
neither of
gonna
you got the
repeat
correct
things?
answer. I think maybe we shouldn't repeat because we end up in a cycle like we kind of did last time with one of us
Yeah,
always going
I
back to
think-
tree.
I think repeating is dangerous.
All right. So we were at coffee and caffeine, and I won't repeat again.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. All right.
3, 2, 1.
Bean.
Coffee bean.
Ah! We did
Oh,
it!
nice.
It counts.
Yeah, that
Nice.
works.
High five.
High five.
Nice.
That wasn't bad. That was like
Nice.
4, but technically I lost because if you don't have a word when you should be saying
Oh.
zero, you lose. But
That's fun.
Do you want to
Cool.
do one with me, Erin?
Yeah, let's do one.
okay.
Oh,
Tell
wait, I
me
have
when
to
you're
think
ready.
of a word. Okay, I'm ready.
Aaron, you ready?
Oh, wait. Let me think of one. Okay.
Okay. We always just look around the room. That's all I've done. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Ice cream.
Beer.
Oh, beer
Okay.
and ice cream.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Float.
Root beer float.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That was great. Good
Hell
job.
yeah. Nice, Ben.
Hell yeah. Easy. This game's easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
I always know what Ben's thinking. That's the key. You just got to get in Ben's head. You just got to get right up there in the noggin, and you're good to go.
You go branch, I go green.
Yeah.
You gotta know that.
It's good.
It's good.
Well, great. Any other upfronts?
Not for me.
Or outbacks? Whatever.
Let's get into it then.
Let's do it.
Ben's first tonight.
Baby Ben. It's baby's first tonight.
Baby's first night.
Okay. Hello.
Baby's first night.
Oh, man. Babies eat free.
My obsession today is a podcast.
A podcast.
That I know for certain that Hannah listens to because...
Is it the podcast WayTooBroad?
It's not. I hate that podcast.
Yeah, that's a really weird podcast.
I know for sure Hannah listens to it because I believe I first heard of it from her a while ago. And I hadn't listened for a while. And recently, hold on, I gotta sneeze. Oh, man.
Achoo. I'm helping you.
Woo!
There it is. You're welcome.
Boy, that is the worst when you want to sneeze but can't, huh?
I love a good sneeze. I guess that's unique to me.
I love
It's
sneeze.
a good sneeze. Ooh.
I love sneeze.
I sneeze all day for good.
So, this is the podcast Reply All.
Nice.
Which, Erin, you probably have heard of or listened to as well.
Yeah.
It's
I love
a very
that
popular
podcast.
one.
I love
It's
it.
very good. I hadn't listened to it in a while, and then I listened to, I heard from somewhere, I think it was actually like a former professional League of Legends player that I follow on Twitter who is now like an esports business consultant and works at Facebook or something.
Wow.
Linked an episode of Reply All called The Founder about this guy who like started out as kind of like a cybersecurity expert in the early days of the internet and then grew into basically like a not an organized crime boss, like a drug ring crime boss that ran like a global drug ring.
My goodness.
Yeah, and like that started as like a shady internet pharmacy business and grew into like smuggling gold out of the Congo and shit. Like just
Like,
wild. Yeah, like just fucking insane. And like it's a fascinating story because he like basically ran his whole organization remotely and like as if he were like a crime boss in a video game. Just like if something didn't work, he'd just like try it again harder. Like like just throw more money and resources at it. It was insane. But yeah, they do stories like that. The premise of the podcast is it's a podcast about the internet. And it's just kind of like about all random things like tech and internet related. They have like kind of different, I guess you could say like different series within the show. Like they have episodes that are called Yes, Yes, No, where their boss, the founder of Gimlet, Alex Bloomberg, comes in and brings in like a tweet or some other thing he saw on the internet that he doesn't understand. And the two hosts, PJ Vogt and Alex Goldman, try to explain it to him. And it's like this really interesting and very entertaining process of like, usually it's a tweet that has some kind of meme or something else that's like couched in a lot of irony and like layers of things like things you need to understand about different communities to get it. And it's really interesting to see like diligent investigative reporting on like all of the layers of irony and meme that are present there.
Yeah.
And usually they're really informative, and I learned more, even when I thought I knew like what the tweet was already, learned more about it. They also have episodes, which I think are my favorite, called Super Tech Support. Where
I'm wearing a Super Tech Support hoodie right now.
Whoa.
Wow.
Look at that.
It says on the back, it says Super Tech Support, but I can't show you.
We're basically listeners.
Why not?
You could. I mean, you could.
Do you have to like be a subscriber? My swivel is broken on my swivel chair.
Yeah.
Listeners like call or email in with really odd or difficult tech problems, and they try to solve them. Like the most recent episode, actually, is a super tech support called the Roman Mars Mazda virus, where this guy called in and said that he just got a new car. I think it's like a 2016 Mazda 6, and he listens to a lot of podcasts, but there's one podcast in particular that when he tries to play it in his car, it plays for like a few seconds, and then it like causes his car stereo to freeze up and restart. And so he like can't play it.
What?
It's called 99% Invisible. It's a podcast from Radiotopia, and when they like did a little more investigating on it, it turns out that like this is a relatively common problem for a lot of people in Mazdas and Nissans in particular. And so like Alex Goldman tried to investigate why that was, and I highly recommend you listen to it because it's pretty fascinating. They also have an episode from a couple weeks ago called the Reply All Hotline, where they like had listeners call in live on air and answer tech questions. And that one was really cool because it ended with this really sweet part where they were on the phone with this kid who lived in Turkey, who's like 17 or 18, but he was a Syrian refugee living in Turkey, where it turns out it's very difficult to live as a Syrian refugee because they've passed a lot of laws that like ban Syrians from traveling between cities without a permit from the local government and stuff. And this kid like taught himself English over the past few years and speaks really, really good English from what he taught himself, but has had trouble navigating like the college admissions system, specifically for like McGill University was the one they were talking about. And he just like clearly wanted someone to talk to because he was feeling really upset because he like missed all of his deadlines and really wanted to leave Turkey. And they like just talked to him for a while and then asked him about his life. And then they were like, oh yeah, and we're going to like help you. We're going to like talk to some people and see if we can like, you know, get you set up and, you know, get you through that process, which was really nice. Yeah, there's just a lot of really fascinating, there's like so many different kinds of things. And the stories that they cover, like they're not always, they don't have to be like directly about the internet or anything. Like they can just be very tangentially related, but still very interesting.
Ben, when you were talking about the Mazda one, I was like, that sounds so interesting. And I was like, that reminds me of a podcast I was listening to that was just so interesting, where they had this mysterious problem and then they like did research and figured it out. And then I realized it's a Reply All episode.
Which one?
Episode 104, The Case of the Phantom Caller.
Yeah, that one's so good.
That one's so good.
Yeah. It was so good. For the listener who doesn't know Reply All, Molly listens to this podcast. That's why I know it, because she's really into it. But the show notes of this one is: a woman in New Jersey is getting strange phone calls to her office from unknown numbers. Every time she picks up, she finds herself eavesdropping on the life of a different stranger. What I found so interesting about this was, like, I feel like it's something that is unknowable, and then they, like, found out exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So I thought that was...
They have a similarly
really
good episode about robocalls.
Yes.
And also... another episode I would recommend highly is episode 130, The Snapchat Thief. I'll read you the show notes for that.
Oh my God,
really
so
cool.
Interesting. Yeah, they really put themselves in harm's way to solve these things. It's really...
this week, a new super tech sport. After Lizzie's Snapchat gets hacked, things start getting really creepy. Alex investigates.
Have you guys heard Long Distance? It's a 2-part episode.
No.
Long Distance is like their masterpiece, I think. It was like, let me see if I can find the...
Oh my God, The Crime Machine, another 2-part episode that's very good also, about the StatCom system in... That's not what it's called, something like that, in New York City's policing system.
Oh. There it is. All right, yes, that one is wild. Okay, so in Long Distance, this week, a telephone scammer makes a terrible mistake. He calls Alex Goldman. So Alex Goldman gets a call from a scammer, and he decides to try to basically like find out who this scammer actually is and how they operate and stuff. And it ends up taking him.
Oh my god, I have heard this.
Yeah, it ends up taking him. I guess I don't really want to spoil it, but it's a 2-part episode. It's really, really, really good, and in very classic Reply All fashion, nobody is giving up until they've like basically met this guy face to face, and it's just fascinating. I love them, and their relationship is very like fun to hear. They're great.
They have a nice website.
And they have a nice website.
They do. It's nice and responsive, and it looks nice.
Reply.
And they have transcripts of all their episodes. That's nice.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they
I
sure do.
didn't know that.
Well, they have a nice website. What do you want from me?
But yeah, that's it for me. That's it.
Wow,
It's
that's
Reply
such a
All.
nice one. I feel like I really want to listen to this now.
It's great. I get so excited. Over the summer, like everybody on that whole staff was like having babies, and so they were like not there. So they were doing like best ofs over the summer, and they were doing like they would go long stretches, but they actually like started a website to help people know when there was going to be an episode coming out that week, because they knew they wouldn't be able to keep a consistent calendar or schedule, I should say. And now that they're back on a semi-regular basis, it's just filled my life with such joy.
Just high quality.
High quality.
You know what it's like is and this makes sense because the founder of Gimlet was a This American Life producer, but I think of it as like This American Life style reporting, but for internet related things.
Nice. Well, yeah, that kind of like deep dig,
Yeah.
and like
Exactly.
the bottom of things, sort of thing. Yeah,
Cool.
cool.
Love it. Love all those things.
Very cool, Ben. Way to not have a sucky obsession this week.
Finally.
Wow.
All right. Reply All is Ben's. Great job, Ben.
Good job, Ben. Very
Thank
proud of
you.
you.
Mine. Are we ready for mine?
I'm so ready.
Mine is a little bit more hyper specific.
Fresh and hyper specific.
Very fresh and hyper specific.
Like cut and soap.
Yeah. It's a video on youtube.com. YouTube.com. YouTube.
That was fun to watch. Ben like put his drink down, like unmute his microphone so he could do.
YouTube.
He was like, "Excuse me, I'm so
Had to get that in.
All right, so you guys have heard me talk before about Bon Appetit.
You guys.
YouTube sucks."
You've heard me talk before about Bon Appetit and their web presence
Yes.
on the video site.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
they've been really stepping it up lately. There've been a bunch more new gourmet makes. There've been a lot of great videos. They've also taken It's Alive. Brad, I don't know his last name, but the manager of the kitchen.
Leone.
Yeah, thank you. Brad Leone and his series. And they've really been doing a lot more with it. They've been sending him to, a lot of different locations, to film the making of all kinds of different things. He was in Texas making like tequila or something like that and like all this stuff. And, that's been really fun and great. But the one that I want to talk about actually was back in the BA test kitchen. It came out this week. And it was an episode in which Brad Leone, had a guest who you may have heard of. Her name's Samin,
Nosrat.
Huh?
Nosrat, right?
Nosrat. I think it's Nosrat. So, Samin Nosrat. She's the author of Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, the book, and also she starred in the Netflix series of the same name. And she came into the kitchen to teach him how to make the focaccia that she made in that series. And I've watched that video. It came out as we're recording this. It came out yesterday, I believe, or the day before. I've watched it like 4 times through. It's like a 25-minute long video because I love it so much. It's a complete delight, start to finish, like just jam-packed with the most adorable things. Like, it's like, you know, It's Alive is always fun to watch. I don't know if you guys have watched any of it, but Erin, have you watched any of it? It's always really fun to watch, but like the way that they were feeding off of each other's energy was like just such an incredible treat to watch. It was like I was crying laughing through like the whole thing. So like, first off, right off the bat, Samin had lost her voice. She had no voice. She was voiceless.
Did she or not have a voice?
She couldn't speak at a normal volume or tone. And that was really just, it added like a layer of kind of like comedy to the whole thing. She was feeling fine, but I think she was getting over something. Also, it was like very clear that despite the fact that she's like almost definitely more famous, like food wise, than the people at Bon Appetit, that she was like a super fan. Like, she knew how these videos always go. She knew like that. she was talking about how she was disappointed there weren't more people in the background in the kitchen that day, because she was like, you know, she watches these videos and it's always so like busy in there. And at one point, Carla Lawley showed up, who like does cooking videos as well. She's like the manager of the test kitchen or something. Samin just like absolutely freaked out, like screamed and ran over and hugged her to tell her how much she loved her videos. Like, wow. So cute. Just so cute. And Brad was like clearly very nervous about Samin being there, and he was constantly like apologizing and like worrying that he'd done things wrong. And also like he had done some things wrong because he had he told this whole story about how he had like done a pre-make thing the night before at home. And then when he was taking his kids to daycare, it like fell off the seat in his car and like smushed. And like, it's so important to have all those air pockets when you're making focaccia. So it was like not usable dough anymore. And like, it's just like the sweetest thing. And she's at one point, she just turns to him and like puts her hand on his arm and goes, "You need to forgive yourself." It was just like a total delight. It's just so fun. And like, you know, there's this ongoing joke on that series that Brad says water really funny. He says like worder. And they always
the editor of that series is amazing. Whoever it is. And
they every time that he says it, they'll show it. Like, the word pops up on the screen, like, worder, like, every time he says it, it's up on the screen. So they were doing that, and they were also captioning her just saying water like a normal human. And then, like, at one point, as he's pouring water, right in the middle of the video, she just, like, is standing there watching him pour water, and he's been talking about water and saying worder all over and over, and she's clearly just like contemplating how and why he says it that way, and she's just like standing there going,
"Water's heavy.
Worder.
Like watching him pour water, just like saying worder. It's like, why does he say it that way?
From New Jersey.
Is that? I've never heard anybody say worder. Like, I met people from New Jersey. I feel like that's not an excuse. I feel like that's like cop out.
Worder.
That's when you're like, "Oh, I'm from New Jersey," shrug. But like, that doesn't mean anything to me. I've literally never heard anybody say it that way.
It's just worder.
And then they fuck it up at the end. They have to like go to like a backup loaf to get the bread right. And it's so cute and sweet. And Brad is like freaking out and sweating so much he has to take his hat off, which he's like, I've literally never seen him do. Like, it's just so cute. And Samin's like, "Why'd you take your hat off?" Like, she's like, it's just great. It's like complete. It's like, it's completely obsession worthy. Like, you have to watch it. It's so sweet.
I will watch it. I'll watch it tonight.
Okay, I'm going to post a link on the Slack, and I will post it when the episode goes out as well.
How many times will you have watched it by the time this comes out?
Definitely at least one more time. I'm meant to take notes. Like, that's how much I wanted to tell you all the delightful things about it. And there's so many more, but this is all that I can think of because I didn't take notes because I was too busy just like watching it and loving it and enjoying it so much. And they keep hugging each other. They keep being like, I love you so much. This is so much fun. And like hugging each other all through the video.
Oh, that sounds so nice.
They're so cute. Oh, and then, okay, one more thing. So there's this other point at which like they started this whole thing with the two of them talking about how the reason that Brad has her on the show is because he watched her show on Netflix and saw her making this focaccia in Italy with this and she speaks Italian all throughout that series, right? And it's like a really cool show. And then she's talking about how she spent time working at a restaurant in Italy and he goes, "You speak Italian?" Then like after she kind of looks surprised and says, "Yeah, pretty well." He's like realizes what he's done. He's like, "Oh, I've seen it. Have you been to Italy?" And then he like starts joking about it. It's like really so relatable. I just love it so much.
He sounds awkward. That sounds great.
That's all.
Love it.
I just love it. I'll post it up.
That's all. I just love it. That's all. Whatever that means to you. I just love it with all my heart. It's whatever.
Just watch it. It's so sweet.
That sounds so nice.
Yeah. Okay, I'll post the link. All right, you can go now, Erin.
Me now. Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm here to talk to you today. I don't have a fresh obsession, but I got to thinking about how much I love my favorite movie, and I just feel so full of obsession with it this week, and I want to talk to you guys about it.
I was curious what your favorite movie is. Wait, I think I know what it is. No, I don't.
Okay. Do you want to guess?
No, I thought I did.
Okay. I want to guess.
Wait, no, is it Inglourious Bastards?
No.
I want to guess.
Yeah.
I this is not right, but the first movie that came to mind was Meet Joe Black.
I do love that movie, and I do want to rewatch it soon, but that's not
There's
it.
a meme
love that
going
movie.
around on Twitter right now of this.
I've seen it.
That was wild.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
I've also seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it, and I was like, my thought about it was like, God, I need to watch Meet the Black again. Because I watched that scene, and I was like, what a damn good movie. Oh my God, I love this fucking movie. Yeah. Love that movie. Yeah, that's up there. It's totally up there.
Do you like Inglourious Bastards also? I feel like I heard you say you like that movie a lot.
Yeah, I like that movie.
Okay.
I like that movie a lot. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
It's not my favorite.
Yeah,
it's
fine.
not my favorite movie. No, this is like my favorite movie. This movie is like, I watch it all the time. I rewatch it all the time. Like, I don't know.
The Lion King.
One.
Are we still guessing?
No, you're not guessing anymore. You're cut off. The movie's Kissing Jessica Stein.
Oh.
It came out in 2001. It's an independent romantic comedy. It was written and co-produced by the film stars Jennifer Westfeldt and Heather Jurgensen. And so a little bit about it, those two actresses met, I think they were at like some actors retreat or something, some artist retreat where they encouraged like directors to act and actors to write. And they ended up like meeting and clicking and relating to each other. And they wrote what would become, a play called Lipstick. And it's a play about, basically it's about like being single in New York and like, trying to find like your match and like how tough the dating scene is. Right. And it's in like the early 2000s. Maybe even like the late 90s, the movie takes place. And so, so that play, I think it ran, I don't know if it was on Broadway or off Broadway, probably off Broadway for a little bit. And then they like worked really hard to get it produced into a movie. And it's just, I find it delightful from beginning to end. I love almost everything about it, almost every moment. The music is really good. It's kind of like, it's real jazzy, a lot of like really nice jazz, like Blossom Daisy and some really good jazz music in it. The music almost in some places delightfully kind of breaks the fourth wall a little bit. Like the music ceases to be in the background and kind of, you know, bleeds into what's happening, which I find.
Oh, there's a word for that.
for where the music kind of like
Yes. Oh, there's like a
where you think you're like listening to, you're just like it's background music, but then it suddenly is like in the scene.
There's like, oh, it's gonna kill me.
And it's done in really little clever ways. I just really enjoy it. Let me know when you think of that word. Basically, the premise is like there's the two main characters are Jessica Stein and Helen Cooper. And Jessica Stein is this like extremely neurotic Jewish 28-year-old who's living in New York City. She has this really cool apartment. She's a painter. She doesn't own a computer. She thinks they're numbing and obscuring humanity. She's a copy editor at a paper in New York City. And very smart, super intellectual, witty, very intelligent. And Helen Cooper is a super smart, very like sex positive woman who owns an art gallery. Diegetic. Wow, you just went into your mind palace and like came out with that.
No, I looked it up.
Diegetic. Oh.
It's music in a drama that is part of the fictional setting and so presumably is heard by the characters.
Yeah. Yeah. There are some moments of that which are just delightful. Love it, love it, love it. So, yeah, so Helen Cooper works at an art gallery. She has like a few like men that she's kind of like having casual relationships with, but she is kind of dissatisfied in that and wants to find something else. And so she decides to take out an ad for like a woman seeking women ad. She decides to like to date a woman. And so Jessica is like completely straight, and you see her kind of like go through this like panoply of like really bad dates and kind of accidentally stumbles upon this ad for women seeking women and answers it. And they meet and realize that they just are like totally click with one another. So it's this great movie. I wouldn't classify it. It's a little bit of a spoiler, I guess, to say like I don't consider it to be like a lesbian movie or anything like that. I think what it really is about like friendship, and I just like love everything about it. It's so smart, so witty. It's like the characters, all the characters are amazing, and especially the female characters have like such like, I mean, it's so hard to see it in some like rom-coms, but they have like such autonomy and their own independent personalities that are so strong and lovely. I just love it. There's very little I dislike about this movie, I will say, except I rewatched it last night, and I think for the very first time, I saw some, just with like everything that's been going on to like increase my awareness of situations involving consent. I would say there are some scenes that in previous watches, like that they didn't really like come across to me as weird, but in this watch I was like, a lot of people kiss Jessica Stein without her explicit permission, and I'm like, okay, that, but anyway, I think it's just great. There are people you'll certainly recognize in it. Josh Myers is played by Scott Cohen, who's in Gilmore Girls, if you watch that.
John Hamm.
John Hamm. So
John Hamm.
John Hamm, it's one of his earlier roles. He and Jennifer Westfeldt, who's the main actress and writer and producer, were in a domestic partnership for like 10 years.
Oh, she looks so familiar to me, and I can't really figure out from where.
Yeah, she was in something else. You might have seen the movie, though.
I haven't. I was just looking at the trailer. Okay.
Don't even suggest that again. She hasn't seen it.
I will not ask you ever again. She's in Grey's Anatomy for... I don't know.
That might be it. I did watch that, but I don't know. Because they've had everyone on there.
She hasn't, like... I thought... For how good this movie is to me, how, like... It's just unique and wonderful. They just, like, didn't do anything else together, and I just really wish they had, right? Like, I know, you can't just expect them to, like, frickin', churn out movie after movie, but, it's one of those things, like, I haven't met anybody who feels as enthusiastic about it as I did. So, I was a little bit at risk of like overhyping it tonight. Like you might see it and it might not be as wonderful to you. And I acknowledge that. Like maybe there are sentimental things about it to me that might not, like, it's definitely my comfort movie. Like if I'm just like chilling at home by myself, like, and Molly's, you know, out for the night, like, I'm probably putting on Kissing Jessica Stein. Like, I just like fucking love this movie. So a part of me was like, you know, maybe my like waxing poetic about it will overhype it. And then I thought, well, this is really for me. Cause like, I've been like, I just like really wanted to talk about how much I love this movie.
Yeah.
And if it prompts you to see it, awesome. And maybe you like it, maybe you don't. Let's talk about it. But nothing will ever change how much I love this movie. It's just like, I think it's amazing.
You've clearly been thinking about it for several days because you brought this up in the Slack earlier this week. You're like, I think we should do an episode maybe at some point where we all talk about our favorite movies. And Ben and I were both like, I don't know if I have a favorite movie.
Yeah, I had thought about it before, and then for some reason I was like, oh man, it's been a while since I've watched it. Like, by that I mean like a couple months. And then I just got thinking about just like how much I love it.
How did you first see it?
I certainly do not know.
Sorry, I won't ask again.
I do not know. That is a great question.
I do not know.
I really don't know. I don't know. I just did. I watched it, and then I watched it again and again and again. I don't remember the first time I watched it.
And it came out in 2003? 2001.
The first.
2001.
So we were like in middle school.
Yeah, I didn't watch it then. I mean, it was like within the past few years that I watched it for the first time.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know what well, I feel like it was before I met Molly though. Maybe it wasn't. I really don't know. I have no concept of that. It's like it's always been in my life. And I kind of recently found out, I was Googling it for this podcast and came across like the Wayback Machine's archive of, what's her name? Shoot, the other person. I got off this page.
Something
and now
Jurgerson?
Yeah, Jurgerson.
Little Jurgerson. Oh, man.
Yeah,
Heather Jurgerson. Heather Jurgensen.
Her website, and it just had this really great, like, written, of course, it's really great, like, thoroughly written, kind of piece about this movie and what it means, and it just feels like such a labor of love for them, and so I feel really justified and, like, proud of my, like, love and appreciation for this movie, because it's not just, like, some movie, it's, like, some people created this and, like, worked for a really long time and worked really hard to, like, write it and to, like, see it through to become the movie that it is, and I just, like, adore it, so.
It's not just some movie.
It's not just some movie.
It's not like the movie version of Ella Enchanted, some movie that's just got, like,
which is just
shit out onto the page. It's
exactly right. Where somebody was like, "Okay, I'm getting paid to write this, and we got paid to name it," and they're just like,
even though it's the same title as the book. I mean, we did.
Maybe that's how you saw the movie, was that was the first naming job we got.
Yeah, Kissing Jessica Stein. Exactly. That's exactly what it was.
Cool. Glad we solved that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Sounds like a good film.
Where can we watch this film?
Well, it goes on and off of Netflix and Amazon Prime and HBO. It, like, rotates through. It's not on any of those at this time. I bought it, not for the first time. I think I have it on iTunes somewhere, but I purchased it from Amazon Prime. You can also rent it for, like, $4. If you're in the mood to laugh and love.
Oh, it has 4.5 stars on Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
that's pretty fucking good.
I created like 100 accounts and gave it 5 stars. So on each one.
That's nice. Good job.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cool. I'll watch it. Thanks for bringing that.
You're certainly welcome.
Certainly. Should we wrap it up then? Homework?
Let's wrap
Wrap it up.
Ben, what's your homework for the people?
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. Me first.
Mm-hmm.
Should I yawn in the middle of it? Oh, there it is. Late on a Friday.
Late on a Friday.
It's like 8 o'clock.
Not late
there.
for you.
Yeah.
I had a long
What?
day.
Okay.
My homework is to listen to Reply All. Ooh,
Any
really
particular
swallowed that L.
episode to start with?
Yeah. Long Distance is a good one. I
Yeah.
believe that's episode 101. Let me check. Let me check. It's episode 102, and then 103 is part 2. The Case of the
Whoa.
Phantom Caller is the very next episode. Also very good.
Yo, just hit those 3 in a row. Trio.
And then honestly, there's a lot in between that I have not listened to yet because I'm still working my way through the back catalog.
Working.
But Crime Machine Part 1 and 2 is very good. The Snapchat Thief episode 130.
Are you going all the way back to the beginning, Ben?
Might as well.
I don't think I've
not
heard
really
all the
listening
ones
to
at the
them.
beginning.
I'm not listening to them in any particular order, though. I'm kind of just like skipping around to ones
did
that
the
sound
same
interesting to me.
Dang thing.
Same freaking
The latest 2 are very good. They're all very good.
Yeah. You can't really go wrong.
Yeah. Me Ben, my Twitter is nicely proved Ben, like a nicely proved bun, but a Ben.
Yeah.
My
That's right.
Twitch is twitch.tv/Disco Greg. I speedrun Pokemon Sapphire, and I am gonna PB soon.
Congrats.
He's gonna be the personal best.
Peanut butter.
No one ever had except for him.
That's all for me.
I believe in you, Ben.
Thanks.
Yeah, Ben.
Oh, big shout out to frickin' Brian.
I got.
Brian David
Who?
Gilbert for his new
Oh my
Pokerap
god! Yes.
This
Wow,
last
that was so
at
good.
PAX East this year.
What a performer that guy is.
He's a great performer.
I watched the beginning. I didn't get to the Pokerap because I was like indisposed, but I really enjoyed the part I saw.
Okay. I guess we just
we won't
won't ask
follow-up
any questions. Yeah.
Please don't. Please do not. I beg you.
Are you not able to go back to it?
I can go back to it. Just I had to suddenly stop watching it for some reasons. But
Personal reasons.
I had a personal issue come up.
All right. Is that all your homework, Ben?
Yes.
Watch
God.
that other Brian David Gilbert. Go to Polygon's YouTube also. And while you're on YouTube, check out It's Alive episode, the most recent one with Brad and Samin Nosrat, where they do focaccia bread, and it's so great and delightful. And I'll have that link up on Twitter along with the link to the Pokerap.
Hell yeah.
And my Twitter is @Hanthropology. It's also my Instagram. My DMs are still open for anybody's like takes on us, or if you want to hear mine, because I have a lot of thoughts I haven't seen in any of the many YouTube videos that I'm still watching about that. And, so hit me up about that. And, I also have another podcast called, So Dreamy, where we listen to dreams and we talk about dreams. And, you can listen to that too.
Listen to it.
It's fun.
Listen to it.
Some twits.
Is there anything else I usually say? I don't think so.
No.
All right.
I don't think so.
Erin, what's your homework?
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Erin. My homework is to freaking watch Kissing Jessica Stein. What a great movie. So nice. pour yourself a glass of wine. Because she drinks wine in, like, the first scene, and I always wish I had wine right after I see that.
More like kissing Jessica wine.
Oh. I don't know if y'all can tell I'm very suggestible. Ben has ginger ale. I want ginger ale. Jessica Stein has wine. I want Stein wine.
I want Jessica Stein. Wine.
No, she's so neurotic. She's lovely. I want her as a friend. Okay. My Twitter's Adam Byrne. I have just not been reviewing lesbian movies at Lesbian Movie Reviews on Instagram. I have a website. It's earnburn.com. You could go there if you wanted to.
We have a phone number, voicemail box you can call for the podcast if you want to leave us a message about anything. It's 774-326-0420. Blaze
it.
Yes, thank you. And we also have a Twitter for the podcast at TooBroadPod. We have an Instagram at WayTooBroad. Our email address is waytoobroad@gmail.com. And if you missed anything that any of us said, you can find all of our contact information and all the show notes at waytoobroad.com for anything you want. www.earnben.com for anything you need. And if you'd like to make our day, you could leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, or really any place where you can leave a podcast review. But Apple Podcasts is mainly where people look for those. So, yeah, that would be really awesome. We would so appreciate you if you did that. By the way, we charted in Finland this week. I forgot to tell you guys that.
Good shit, Finland.
We charted. Wow.
Yeah, we spiked in the charts really quickly. As far as I can tell, it was from like 1 or 2 downloads. I don't think maybe a lot of people in Finland are listening to podcasts. I'm not sure.
Oh.
Yeah,
cool.
But thanks for listening. If you're in Finland, you helped us get on some charts.
Thanks. We charted.
I
gotta go change my pants now.
So I think
because we charted.
That's it. So thanks for listening. We love you guys.
We love you guys so much.
And the podcast candle is now extinguished.
Good night, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Any hour that you're listening.
Good night.
You might not be night.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Or day.
Farewell.
I get what you're saying.
Okay, bye.